Hello, you, and welcome back to Whispers After 50. I'm Grace, and today I'm going to share a very personal chapter of my life, one that even now brings a mix of tears and immense pride. It's the story of facing life alone after 50 years of companionship. For half a century, my world, my identity, was beautifully intertwined with my husband, David. We built a life, a family, and a home together. When he passed away 3 years ago, it wasn't just losing a partner. It was like losing a part of myself. The void he left felt immense, overwhelming. Every morning, I'd wake up and instinctively reach for his hand, only to find cold, empty sheets. It was a stark, painful reminder of my new reality. Have you ever found yourself in a place where what once defined your daily life suddenly vanished? That profound silence in a home that used to be filled with laughter and conversation. That feeling of waking up and wondering, who am I now without them? This isn't just my story of grief. It's a raw, honest look at the often unspoken struggle of rediscovering yourself after profound loss. It's about navigating overwhelming loneliness, learning to make decisions solo, and the unexpected, sometimes difficult steps I took to find my footing again, to truly embrace independence, and to rediscover joy in a life I once thought was over. My hope is that my journey can offer you some insight and perhaps a little comfort if you're walking a similar path. Let's talk about finding strength and light even in the deepest shadows. For 50 years, David and I were a team. He was my rock, my confidant, my dance partner, my everything. Our routine was comfortable, familiar. We'd have coffee together every morning. He'd read the paper while I tended my garden. We'd watch our favorite shows in the evening. Our lives flowed seamlessly into one another. So when he passed away peacefully in his sleep 3 years ago, the silence that followed was deafening. It wasn't just the absence of his voice. It was the absence of his presence, his laughter, his quiet hum as he worked in the garage. My world, literally and figuratively, stopped. The house, once a sanctuary, now felt like a mausoleum of memories, each corner whispering his name. The first few months were a blur of grief. Friends and family were wonderful, bringing meals, offering condolences, making sure I wasn't alone. But eventually, life for everyone else moved on, and I was left in our big, quiet house, facing the overwhelming reality of being truly alone. Every corner held a memory, every object a ghost of a shared moment. His armchair by the fireplace sat empty. His side of the bed remained untouched. I felt like a lost ship adrift without its anchor. The simplest things, like making a cup of tea, felt heavy with his absence, the familiar ritual now a hollow echo. The practicalities of living alone were daunting. David had always handled the finances, the car maintenance, the household repairs. Suddenly, I was faced with bills I didn't understand, a car that needed servicing, and a leaky faucet that felt like an insurmountable problem. My confidence, which had always relied on our partnership, plummeted. I felt incompetent, helpless, and utterly overwhelmed. You might know that feeling when tasks that once seemed simple become gigantic obstacles because you're doing them all by yourself for the first time. I even struggled to figure out how to reset the Wi-Fi, a seemingly trivial task that brought tears to my eyes out of sheer frustration. Beyond the practical, the emotional toll was immense. Loneliness wasn't just an emotion. It was a physical ache. I'd wake up in the middle of the night reaching for him, only to find an empty space. Meals were no longer a shared pleasure, but a solitary chore. I found myself talking to photos just to hear a voice in the house. My children, bless them, called often and visited when they could, but they had their own lives, their own families. I didn't want to burden them with my constant sadness, so I often put on a brave face, telling them, "Oh, I'm doing just fine." This silent struggle became my biggest red flag. The fear of admitting my profound loneliness and helplessness. I worried that if I truly opened up, I'd be seen as weak or worse, as someone who couldn't cope. So, I retreated further into myself. I stopped joining my old lady's lunch group, feeling like a perpetual third wheel. I declined invitations to social gatherings, finding comfort in the solitude, even though it was the very thing I longed to escape. The television became my constant companion, a way to fill the quiet. I knew deep down I couldn't continue like this, that I was simply existing, not living. But the first step to change felt like climbing a mountain. The thought of leaving the house, of facing the world alone, was paralyzing. That low point, sitting alone in our living room with only the hum of the refrigerator for company, was my true turning point. I looked around at all of David's things, our things, and realized that while he was gone, I was still here. And I deserved to live, not just exist. It wasn't about forgetting him, but about finding a way to carry his memory while building a new life for myself. My daughter, sensing my quiet despair despite my brave facade, gently nudged me to join a grief support group. That brave step, though terrifying, was the first real step forward. This led to my first incredibly vital lesson. Grief is a journey, not a destination, and finding connection with others who understand is crucial for healing. In that support group, I finally allowed myself to be vulnerable, to share my fears and loneliness without judgment. Hearing others voice similar struggles, from managing finances alone to simply missing a morning coffee ritual, was immensely validating. It was the first time I truly felt understood, and that sense of shared experience was incredibly liberating. I wasn't alone in my aloneness. It was a relief to know that my feelings were normal and that healing was possible, even if it took time. My second lesson was about reclaiming my independence, one small step at a time. David handled the car fine. I would learn. I signed up for a short refresher driving course and even learned basic car maintenance online. I forced myself to tackle the household bills, setting up online payments, a task I had always avoided. Each small victory, from changing a light bulb to balancing the checkbook, filled me with a quiet sense of accomplishment. It was challenging, humbling, but also incredibly empowering. I learned that I was far more capable than I ever gave myself credit for. I even managed to fix that leaky faucet myself after watching a YouTube video. A moment of pure triumph. Third, I learned the importance of nurturing myself and rediscovering my own unique joys. David and I had many shared hobbies, but what did I truly love? I remembered my old passion for gardening, which I'd let slide. I joined a local garden club, forcing myself to strike up conversations. I also started taking long walks in the park, simply observing the beauty around me, something I'd often rushed through before. It was about rediscovering Grace, the individual separate from her identity as a wife. This isn't selfish, it was essential for my soul. I also rediscovered my love for baking, experimenting with new recipes and sharing them with new friends from the garden club. And finally, the most profound lesson: finding joy and purpose after loss isn't a betrayal of love, it's a testament to life. For a long time, I felt guilty for even thinking about happiness without David, but I realized that he would have wanted me to live fully. My renewed independence, my new friendships, my rediscovered joys, they were not a replacement for him, but a continuation of the life we built, shaped by the lessons he taught me. I learned to forgive myself for moments of sadness, to accept that grief ebbs and flows, and that true strength lies in embracing both the memories and the future. My journey to rediscovering joy and independence has been transformative. There are still days when I miss David acutely, of course, but now the quiet doesn't feel empty. It feels peaceful. I've found a rhythm, a balance, and a renewed sense of purpose, not just in carrying his legacy, but in actively building a vibrant, fulfilling life for myself. I've realized that this chapter, while unexpected and challenging, is a powerful testament to the endless capacity of the human spirit. to heal, to adapt, and to find light, even after the deepest shadows. So if you're navigating life after loss, finding yourself alone after years of companionship, or simply grappling with a profound life change, know this: you are not alone. My journey taught me that while grief is a powerful force, it doesn't have to define your entire future. You possess an incredible capacity for resilience, for learning, and for rediscovering joy even when it feels impossible. Remember, rebuilding your life isn't about forgetting, it's about honoring the past while embracing the present and future. It's okay to feel lost, but it's vital to take those small, brave steps toward independence and self-discovery. You are stronger than you think, and you deserve a life filled with purpose and connection. Have you experienced the journey of living alone after loss? What steps did you take to find your way and rediscover joy? Or what advice would you give to someone just beginning this challenging but ultimately rewarding chapter? Please share your stories and your wisdom in the comments below. Your insights could truly light the way for someone else navigating similar feelings. If this story resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Whispers After 50 for more authentic conversations about our life's beautiful journey. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thank you for watching, and always remember, every whisper of experience holds invaluable wisdom.